welcome to Desert DIY. If you are new here, my name is Corey. Today I'm doing a collaboration with Heidi Sonbol from Happily Thriving Heidi and Natalie from Design to the Nines. Now, these two women are amazing YouTubers and I definitely want you to go check out their pages as well as this playlist, and I will have those linked down below. But for this video, I have to say, viewer discretion is advised because I'm about to get super sweaty up in here, and if you have an issue with seeing a lady go from pretty to swampy real quick, then you might want to change this channel. And I have a feeling that some of these other ladies in these videos are going to also be getting sweaty because today we are working with Powertools. So the name of this collaboration is that women can use Powertools too. I use Powertools in my videos all the time, but I wanted to make one specifically where I talk about my power tools that I'm using. So in this video you'll see me talk a lot about the tools I'm using and why I'm using them. But you'll also see me have some pretty funny fails, and you'll hopefully be laughing along with me because it's real. I just want to be real with all of you because using power tools isn't that hard. There's nothing to be afraid of, and it's okay to mess up. So I'll show you the before real quick. This is a palette that I've had in my backyard forever, and I used some other scrap wood from my backyard to make this. This is a potting table. It could also be like a kitchen island if you're into that like tropical look, I don't know. But I love how it turned out. It's something that I made out of garbage and it cost me nothing. And I will talk all about that as I'm going through this tutorial. Hi! So the first thing that we're going to do is take this regular old palette and we're going to screw in these pieces of 2x4s. A regular palette will not have this space here, and I did this beforehand a while ago thinking I was going to do a different project, but it didn't work out. So now I'm changing my plan and this is going to work out perfectly for my potting bench. So all I'm going to do now is just secure these in a little better with some long 3-inch screws. The reason I'm using 3-inch screws is because you're using a 2-inch piece of wood. So as you see here, if I were to use a 2-inch screw for a 2x4, it would barely poke out of the end here. So we need that extra inch in order to get through to this piece of wood here. And I'm going to pre-drill my hole, and it already has nails in it, so I'm only going to put one in each side. But I'm going to pre-drill my hole because I don't want to crack the 2x4s. When you use old wood that's already dried out, it will crack, so you need to pre-drill the holes. The tool that I'm using is just a regular power drill, and I put on a drill bit that was a little bit smaller than the size of my screw. Now I'm going to use a second drill and screw this in. The reason I use 2 drills is because instead of having to take out this drill bit over and over again and swap them out, I can just have one on each one and keep going with my project. There goes the first one. Alright, so those pieces are all screwed in, and now it is time for me to go and mark the length of the legs and cut the legs using my miter saw. Now this wood came from another pallet, believe it or not, even though this is huge lumber. It came from a pallet that was used to carry appliances. So I tore it apart and I'm keeping the good lumber from it. And I'm going to measure out 3 feet for each leg. And the reason for that is because I'm not a very tall person, but I do still want this table to be tall so that it's more like a bar height, and it makes it easier to do projects on it when it's something you can stand next to and work on. So there's my first 3-foot measurement. This one I'm going to measure from the other side because that end right there is not straight. time to make some cuts. So when using a miter saw like this one, you have to remember that the blade itself has its own width. So when you measure your line, you have to line the blade, this blade, up with the line. So you just bring it down, do like a practice lineup, and then you scoot the wood over until you get the blade to be on the opposite end of the wood piece you're keeping. So I'm keeping this side, so I want the blade to line up on the right side of the line that I made. I can't line it up directly on the line because then I will be short because of the width of the blade. So if I were to line it directly up on the line, then I would be short by the width of this blade. There's my first leg. Now for this piece, I'm keeping this side, so I'm going to line up my blade on the left side of the line. I have all of my legs ready now, so I'm going to go ahead and put my cut sides facing the ground. They're nice and level right now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did before, which is to drill in some pilot holes. And then I'll come in with my second drill and drill in my 3-inch screws. If you watch, there's a sleeve on here that I can put over the screw so that way I don't bounce off of the screw with my drill bit. There's my first one. Okay. Next. It does take quite a bit of muscle. There we go. Alright, I'm going to have to cheat now. This is not structural, but I'm going to use a nail gun just to hold it in place so that that doesn't happen again. Oh, darn it. Okay, so that was a disaster. The reason why that happened is just because I don't have anybody else to help me hold this up. So I'm going to use a cheat that I use quite often, which is to just tack some nails in to hold it up while I'm doing my work. Now these are not going to be structural, they're just going to hold it together so it doesn't fall on me again. Okay, back to work. Okay, as it is now, it is structurally strong, but the legs are not perfectly straight. So I have a cheat that I'm going to use to make these legs perfectly straight, which is to use my leftover wood to put braces in. So actually I think I'm going to put the braces on this side, and I'll show you why after I do it. Oh my god, I'm getting attacked by bugs. Okay, so I'm going to measure 17 inches in between these two. So I'm going to make sure that the piece that's down here is also 17 inches. Alright, so this is my 17-inch piece, and as you can see, I can move it quite a bit in between there, even though it would be tight at the top. So that means our legs are not straight. I'm going to put it in flat this way and pre-drill some pilot holes and screw them in together. Something that I do very often is find salvaged materials. So an example of my salvaged materials for this project is all of my pallet wood plus this entire gallon of paint. So it's a brand new gallon of paint. I believe the person that I got it from probably got it from the hardware store as a oops colored paint, but it's literally has never been used. It's just a very crazy color, and here in Arizona we like to do super bright colors because our desert is very colorful that way. So I'm gonna give this a chance and see if I like it. The wood is going to definitely need some paint, and I thought I would try out my salvaged paint that I got for free from somebody giving it away on this piece, just to kind of keep going with the theme. And I think the color is gonna just be really interesting. So give me a second and I will show it to you. It is like a fuchsia. Holy guacamole. It took me 2 full coats, thick coats of paint to finish this piece. But I love the color. It reminds me of like a 90s chapstick. What was it called? Like lip smackers? That's what the color reminds me of. So much for watching this tutorial and playing along with this playlist here. I hope you go and check out all the other ladies that are participating in this playlist that I have linked down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then please hit that subscribe button, and that way you won't miss out on any of my future projects like this one and many other different styles of projects, because this particular project is not my usual style. And that is all that I have for you. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!